This is the Ghostly Coven. We're here on a special occasion. I usually don't do these kind of things, so you're just gonna hear my voice mostly through this the beginning portion, and then our lovely Max over here is gonna be reading something special I've been working on for a couple years. This is a book. I don't know if I'm gonna get published. It's a very expensive process, and I do not really have the money, but I would like to share it with the world somehow. So Max is going to get into it here in a little bit. I'm going to leave everything to him. Today we're going to read the beginning portion of the book, at least the dedication in chapter one, I believe. Max, you can have the floor now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maximilian, or Max if you prefer. Today, I'm going ahead and reading the special book that basically our wonderful Charlie Morningstar has go ahead and created. The actual name of the book is called Murder Under Love's Moonlight. I'll be starting with the dedication and moving onwards. Without further ado, let us begin. Dedication. To the shadows that whisper secrets, and the moon that illuminates the darkest corners of the heart. This tale is woven for those who dare to love fiercely, even in the face of oblivion, and for those who find solace in the embrace of the night. It is dedicated to the readers who seek more than just a love story, those who crave the thrill of the unknown, the mystery of the unseen, the intoxicating danger of a forbidden love. For the brave souls who venture into the depths of darkness only to find a light, a flicker of hope amidst the shadows. This book is a testament to the enduring power of love, even when it blossoms in the most unexpected and dangerous of circumstances. It is a hymn to the intoxicating allure of the forbidden, a ballad of passion and peril woven through the threads of a supernatural mystery. It is dedicated to those who believe in second chances, in redemption, and in the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome even the most formidable of obstacles. To those who are drawn to the edge of the abyss, to the brink of destruction, yet find themselves compelled to leap into the unknown, this book is for you. For those who have loved fiercely and lost tragically, this is a story of remembrance and resilience. It is a whisper of comfort in the darkness, a promise that even in the face of grief, the heart can find the strength to love again, to seek justice, to uncover truth. For those who believe that true love transcends the boundaries of life and death, this is an exploration of the enduring power of love's enduring flame, even when death attempts to extinguish it. This book is a celebration of those who dare to defy expectations, those who follow their hearts even when reason dictates otherwise. It's for the lovers who find themselves drawn to the unconventional, the mystical, the dangerous. It's for those who embrace the darkness and seek the light within it, who find beauty in the shadows and strength in vulnerability. This is for the dreamers, the rebels, the romantics, and the believers. This is for those who know that the greatest love stories are often the most dangerous. For in the shadows where love blooms amidst the darkness, the heart finds its truest and most passionate voice. May this story ignite your imagination and stay with you long after the final page is turned. With this, we begin Chapter 1. Victor's Death. The heavy oak door creaked open, revealing a scene etched in shadows and silence. Moonlight, fractured by the stained glass windows, cast an ethereal glow across the opulent chamber, highlighting the disturbing stillness that had fallen over Victor Bloodfang's Gothic manor. It was a stillness that was profoundly unsettling, a stark contrast to the usually vibrant, almost chaotic energy that pulsed through this ancient vampire's home. Usually, the air hummed with the low thrum of unseen energies, the murmur of conversations echoing from shadowy corners, the clinking of crystal glasses from a never-ending celebration. Tonight, only the rhythmic tick-tock of a grandfather clock, its pendulum swinging with macabre precision, broke the oppressive quiet. Victoria Marie Dawn stood frozen in the doorway. The scent of old leather and dried roses momentarily battling the coppery tang of blood that clung to the air. Her breath hitched in her throat. A strangled gasp, lost in the suffocating stillness. Her heart, a frantic drum against her ribs, pounded a rhythm of disbelief and a rising tide of primal rage. There, sprawled across the Persian rug, his impossibly pale skin stark against the crimson stain, blossoming across his chest, lay Victor. Her Victor. He looked peaceful, almost serene, if one could ignore the gaping wound that marred his otherwise flawless countenance. His eyes, usually pools of molten amethyst, were closed, their depths hidden in shadow. The moonlight glinted off the silver of his hair, framing a face that, even in death, retained an unsettling beauty. A beauty that was now cruelly marred, defiled. The elegant silk of his midnight blue dressing gown was rumpled, twisted beneath him, a silent testament to the struggle that had undoubtedly taken place. A sob tore through Victoria's carefully constructed composure. The dam of her grief, held back by sheer force of will for agonizing moments, finally broke, unleashing a torrent of raw emotion. Tears streamed down her face, blurring the already hazy scene before her, mixing with the rain that pattered softly against the tall Gothic windows. She knelt beside him, her fingers trembling, as she reached out to trace the line of his jaw, her touch lingering on the cold, unyielding flesh. The icy chill of his skin sent a shiver down her spine, a stark reminder of his irrevocable absence. But amidst the overwhelming despair, a spark of icy fury ignited in her soul. This wasn't an accident. This was murder. The meticulous placement of Victor's body, the unnatural stillness of the room, the subtle yet undeniable scent of unfamiliar magic. It all spoke of a deliberate, calculated act. Her grief was a powerful force, but it was not the only emotion swelling within her. A fierce, unwavering determination to find her lover's killer hardened her resolve. She would unravel this mystery, no matter the cost. She would find justice for Victor, even if it meant delving into the darkest corners of the supernatural world. The opulent manor, usually a testament to Victor's refined taste and immense power, now felt like a tomb. Each ornate detail, the intricately carved furniture, the heavy velvet drapes, the collection of antique weaponry displayed in glass cases, seemed to mock her with its silent elegance, accentuating the violent interruption that had shattered the peace. The air hung heavy with the scent of decay, not just the natural decay of age, but the unsettling aura of death that clung to the very walls. It was a death that resonated with a chilling finality, a death that had stolen the world. She rose slowly, her movements stiff and deliberate, her eyes scanning the room. She had to find something, some clue that would lead her to his murderer. The Persian rug beneath her feet was soaked with blood, staining the intricate design a horrifying shade of crimson. The silence, oppressive and heavy, pressed down on her, demanding attention. She needed to focus, to find the thread that would lead her through the labyrinth of shadows surrounding her lover's untimely death. Her gaze fell upon Victor's study, a sanctuary of dark leather-bound books and arcane artifacts, tucked away behind a heavy oak door. It was a room steeped in secrets, a place where Victor had spent countless hours immersed in ancient lore and forbidden knowledge. Now it felt like a crime scene, each object laden with potential significance. The silence seemed to thicken within those walls, whispering promises of answers and a thread of deeper mysteries yet to be uncovered. Taking a deep breath, Victoria approached the study door. The polished brass handle felt cold beneath her fingers, sending another shiver down her spine. As she turned the knob, the door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit room that seemed to exhale a palpable sense of unease. The scent of old paper and dust filled her nostrils, a familiar scent from her many nights spent here alongside Victor, poring over forgotten text and unraveling the complexities of the supernatural world. Now it seemed almost suffocating, a suffocating mixture of memory and death. The room was a vortex of dark wood and shadowed corners. Books lined the shelves from floor to ceiling, their leather-brown covers gleaming dully in muted light. Arcane symbols were etched into the desk, a massive mahogany piece that dominated the room, its surface scattered with papers and strange artifacts. A tarnished silver chalice, a collection of oddly shaped crystals, a worn leather-bound grimoire with strange symbols etched upon its cover. Each object pulsed with a silent energy, a testament to the dark magic that permeated Victor's life, and possibly his death. The scattered papers caught her attention. Amongst the ordinary notes and sketches, something felt different. A single piece of parchment, ripped from a larger book, lay half hidden beneath a pile of documents. It was written in a spidery script, a language she recognized as an ancient dialect of vampiric runes. As she carefully unfolded the delicate parchment, her heart hammered in her chest, a mixture of fear and anticipation. The runes whispered of betrayal, of a clandestine organization, of a powerful enemy she had never imagined. The message spoke of a conspiracy far more complex and dangerous than anything she had ever encountered. The message, cryptic as it was, spoke of a meeting, a hidden location, a name whispered like a curse in the darkness. The Obsidian Circle. The phrase sent a chill down her spine. She had heard whispers of this group, a secret society of powerful vampires rumored to be involved in illicit activities and ruthless power struggles. It was a group shrouded in mystery and fear, a group that operated in the darkest corners of the vampire world. Could they be responsible for Victor's death? It seemed impossible, yet the evidence suggested otherwise. Her investigation had just taken a sharp and perilous turn. The gravity of the situation pressed down on Victoria. The weight of her grief and the chilling revelation intertwining to fuel her relentless pursuit of justice. The opulent manor, once a sanctuary of love and passion, had become the epicenter of a dark and dangerous mystery. The quest for answers lay before her, a path paved with perilous choices and seductive shadows. She had lost her lover, but she would not rest until she had avenged his death, even if it meant facing a power far greater and far more sinister than she could have ever imagined. The fight had begun, and she would not yield. Initial investigation. The air in Victor's study hung thick with the scent of aged paper and dust, a familiar aroma that now left suffocating, tainted by the metallic tang of his blood still clinging to the air outside. Moonlight, filtered through the heavy drapes, cast long, dancing shadows across the room, making the already imposing mahogany desk seem even more menacing. It was a desk that had witnessed countless nights of whispered secrets and clandestine rituals, a silent confidante to Victor's dark pursuits. Now it was a canvas of disarray, a silent testament to the brutal interruption of his life. Victoria ran her fingers along the cool, smooth surface of the desk, tracing the intricate carvings that staked across its polished wood. Each curve and swirl seemed to hold a silent story, a whisper of the powerful magic that had permeated this room, this man's life. Scattered across the desk were the remnants of his last endeavors, a half-finished sketch of a complex astrological chart, several open books, their pages filled with spidery script and enigmatic diagrams, and a collection of peculiar artifacts, each radiating a faint hum of unseen energy. A tarnished silver chalice, its surface etched with unfamiliar symbols, lay nestled amongst a pile of papers. Victoria picked it up, her fingers tracing the worn silver, feeling a faint thrum beneath her touch. It felt cold, almost unnervingly so, as if it had absorbed the chill of death itself. She set it down carefully, her mind racing. Was this a ritualistic object? A tool of some dark magic? The possibilities were endless, each one more unsettling than the last. Her gaze drifted to a collection of oddly shaped crystals, resting on a velvet cushion. They shimmered with an internal light, pulsating faintly in the dim light. They were not ordinary crystals, Victoria knew. These possessed a power, a tangible energy that vibrated with the life of their own. They seemed to thrum with a subtle power, a forbidden energy that sent shivers down her spine. Were these connected to his death? Had they been used in some dark ritual? The questions plagued her, unanswered and unsettling. A worn, leather-brown grimoire, its covered and embossed with intricate symbols, caught her attention. It was bound in dark aged leather, its pages yellowed and brittle with age. The symbols on the cover were unlike anything she had ever seen, a language both ancient and alien. She carefully opened it, the leather creaking in protest. The pages within were filled with a chaotic jumble of handwritten text, diagrams, and strange sigils. It was a language of power, of forbidden knowledge, a language that whispered of secrets best left undisturbed. Yet Victoria felt compelled to unravel its mysteries, to understand the dark magic it contained. She knew that within its pages lay answers, perhaps even the key to understanding Victor's murder. But it was a single ripped piece of parchment, hidden beneath a pile of documents, that truly stole her attention. The paper, thin and fragile, was written in a spidery script. A language she recognized as an ancient dialect of vampiric runes. The script was elegant, yet unsettling, each rune pulsating with a dark energy. She carefully unfolded the parchment, her fingers trembling. The runes, cryptic yet powerful, spoke of betrayal, of a clandestine organization, of a powerful enemy she never imagined. The message spoke of a conspiracy, a web of deceit that seemed to extend far beyond her wildest comprehension. The runes painted a picture of a clandestine meeting, a hidden location, a name whispered like a curse in the darkness. The Obsidian Circle. The phrase chilled her to the bone. She had heard whispers of this group before, a secret society of powerful vampires, a brotherhood of darkness rumored to be involved in illicit activities and ruthless power struggles. They were a group shrouded in mystery and fear, operating in the deepest shadows of the vampire world. Could they be responsible for Victor's death? The idea was terrifying, yet the evidence pointed toward a conspiracy far more intricate and dangerous than she could have ever imagined. She meticulously examined the runes, her mind struggling to decipher their cryptic meaning. Each symbol held a piece of the puzzle, a fragment of a larger, more sinister truth. She traced each character with her finger, feeling a faint energy pulse beneath her touch. It was as though the ancient script were whispering its secrets to her, revealing a trail of betrayal, murder, and dark magic. The runes described a meeting, a rendezvous point that seemed carefully concealed, a hidden location meant to deceive and evade detection. The Obsidian Circle, it seemed, was adept at cloaking its activities in the shadows. The location was described using an intricate system of geographical references and ancient lore. A cryptic puzzle requiring detailed knowledge of ancient vampire history and geography. Victoria spent hours poring over her own library, consulting ancient texts and maps, attempting to decipher the location. The Obsidian Circle had chosen a remote and isolated area, a place far from the prying eyes of the outside world. The message contained several layers of cryptography designed to protect the details of the meeting from prying eyes and unwanted ears. Each layer seemed to demand a different level of knowledge, a different skill set to break. Finally, after hours of intense study and careful consideration, she managed to decipher the secret location. The message revealed the place as a remote cave complex hidden deep within a treacherous mountain range, far removed from civilization. The cave itself was located in a desolate region known to be off limits even to vampires, a location shrouded in legends and guarded by ancient wards. Access required esoteric knowledge and a willingness to reach forbidden territory, ensuring that only those worthy were granted passage. The gravity of the situation struck Victoria anew. She was not dealing with a simple murder, but a conspiracy of immense scope and deadly significance. The Obsidian Circle was not merely a rumor. It was a tangible threat, a force capable of murder and possessing secrets far more dangerous than she could have ever imagined. Victor's death was not merely a crime of passion. It was a calculated act, a sacrifice in the game of power played by entities who wield unimaginable power. As she pieced together the fragmented messages, a disturbing picture began to emerge. Victor's death was not an isolated incident, but a calculated move within a larger conflict. Power struggle amongst the elite members of the vampire world. The Obsidian Circle, it seemed, was at the center of it all, pulling strings from the shadows and using Victor as a pawn in their dangerous game. The cryptic message also hinted at a deep betrayal, suggesting that someone close to Victor had played a crucial role in his murder. The runes implied a close confidant, someone who had access to his innermost circle, someone who had gained his trust, only to use it to orchestrate his downfall. The possibility chilled Victoria to the bone. Who amongst Victor's inner circle could have betrayed him so brutally? The thought filled her with a dark suspicion, a chilling uncertainty that fueled her determination. The weight of her grief and the chilling revelation of this vast conspiracy settled heavily upon Victoria. The quest for justice has transformed into a perilous journey into the heart of a dangerous and powerful secret society. She had lost her lover, and the path to revenge had become even more complicated and treacherous than she could have ever imagined. The fight was far from over. The Obsidian Circle had only added more layers to the mystery, but her determination to uncover the truth and avenge Victor's death had only intensified. The path to justice lay before her, a path paved with peril danger, and seductive shadows. But she would walk it. Meeting Lucian. The address, scrawled on the back of the parchment, a clandestine gathering at the Serpent's Kiss nightclub, felt like a punch to the gut. The Serpent's Kiss wasn't just any vampire establishment. It was a den of iniquity, a place where shadows danced with secrets and whispers held the thought or weight of forgotten sins. It was a place where even the air thrummed with a palpable sense of danger. The thought of venturing into such a viper's nest sent a shiver down Victoria's spine. But the need for answers, the burning desire for justice for Victor, propelled her forward. She arrived at the Serpent's Kiss under the cloak of a starless night. The building, a monolithic structure of obsidian stone, almost swallowing the scant moonlight. The heavy oak doors, intricately carved with serpentine figures, seemed to writhe and pulse with an unnatural life. Inside, the air hung thick with the scent of incense, sweat, and something else. Something ancient and faintly metallic. The lingering essence of 1,000 spilled libations and untold secrets. The club throbbed with a low, hypnotic rhythm. The music, a seductive pulse that vibrated through the floor, and up into Victoria's very bones. Figures moved in the dimly lit space, their faces obscured by shadows, their identities hidden beneath layers of mystery. The atmosphere was electric, charged with an energy that felt both alluring and threatening. Victoria felt like a moth drawn to a dangerous flame. Her senses heightened, her instincts screaming caution, yet her will pushing her further into the heart of the darkness. She moved through the throng of vampires, their eyes glinting with predatory curiosity, their movements fluid and sinuous. The air crackled with an unspoken tension. A silent battle of wills playing out between the inhabitants of this underworld. Each encounter was a silent assessment, a sizing up of power and intent. She felt naked and exposed, vulnerable, yet her purpose gave her a cloak of steely resolve. Then she saw him. Lucian. He sat alone at a secluded booth, bathed in the ethereal glow of a single crimson lamp. He was a study in contrast, a whirlwind of darkness and light. His features sharp and angular, his eyes the color of a stormy sea. His dark hair, long and flowing, framed a face that was both devastatingly handsome and unnervingly intense. His presence commanded attention, drawing all eyes toward him like a magnet. An aura of mystery clung to him, a subtle emanation of power and unspoken secrets. He was a predator, elegant and deadly. Yet his gaze held a hint of something else, a hint of sadness, of vulnerability, Or perhaps it was just the clever deception of a master manipulator. Victoria approached him cautiously, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. The closer she got, the more she felt the intensity of his gaze, the palpable weight of his presence. He was breathtakingly beautiful, a creature of exquisite darkness, and terrifyingly alluring. He raised a hand in a languid gesture, beckoning her closer. His smile was slow, deliberate, a predatory caress that sent shivers down her spine. Victoria Marie Dawn, he murmured, his voice a low, resonant purr that seemed to vibrate deep within her very core. I've been expecting you. The way he said her name, the way he knew her name, sent a jolt of apprehension through her. How did he know? Had he been following her? Was he connected to the Obsidian Circle? Her instincts screamed danger, yet there was a strange compulsion, a pull towards him that she couldn't deny. Huh, how did you know my name? She asked, her voice barely a whisper, laced with apprehension. He chuckled, a sound as dark and deep as the shadows that surrounded them. In this world, Victoria, secrets have a way of finding their way to the right ears, he replied, his gaze never leaving hers. And some secrets are worth paying for. He gestured towards the empty seat opposite him. Sit. Victoria hesitated for only a moment before obeying. The tension was palpable, thick as the smoke that curled lazily from the ornate incense burners scattered around the club. The air crackled with the unspoken electricity between them, a silent acknowledgement of their shared understanding of the dangerous game they were playing. I know why you're here, Lucian said, his eyes piercing, almost knowing. You're looking for answers about Victor, about the Obsidian Circle. Victoria's breath hitched. How much did he know? Was he truly an ally, or was this a cleverly orchestrated trap? The weight of suspicion pressed down on her, but the hope of finding answers, of avenging Victor, was too strong to ignore. I need to know who killed him, she said, her voice firm despite the tremor in her hands. Lucian leaned back, a thoughtful expression on his face. The Obsidian Circle, he confirmed, his tone almost casual. They are a dangerous organization, Victoria. Powerful, influential, and utterly ruthless. He paused, taking a slow sip from a glass of crimson liquid that shimmered with an unnatural light. The liquid looked like blood. Victoria knew better to assume. This was a world where appearances were often deceptive, where the line between illusion and reality was blurred. They operate in the shadows, pulling strings from the darkness, he continued. Their motives are often shrouded in secrecy, their actions cloaked in mystery. Uncovering their secrets is a dangerous game, one that requires skill, cunning, and more than a little bit of luck. He looked at her directly, his gaze intense and unwavering. I can help you, he said, his voice a low promise. I can guide you through the labyrinth of deceit, lead you to the answers you seek, but you must trust me. Trust. The word hung in the air between them, heavy with implications. Trusting Lucian felt like walking a tightrope over a chasm of fire. He was an enigma, a dangerous game, his motives unclear. his intentions hidden behind a mask of alluring charisma. Yet despair whispered a stark truth. She had few other options. How can I know I can trust you? Victoria asked, her voice betraying the doubts swirling within her. She had lost one lover to betrayal. The thought of repeating the experience with another was agony. Lucian smiled, a slow, knowing curve of his lips. That, Victoria, he said, his voice low and husky, is something you'll have to discover for yourself. The glint in his eyes spoke of untold secrets, hidden agendas, and potential dangers. He reached across the table, his hands brushing against hers. The contact sent a shockwave through her body, a jolt of unexpected energy. His touch was both sensual and strangely comforting, a paradox of allure and danger. The electricity between them crackled, sparking unseen desires. The night was young, and the path ahead was fraught with peril. But in Lucian's enigmatic gaze, Victoria saw a spark of hope, however dangerous it might be. The quest for revenge had just become a much more complicated and potentially much more alluring endeavor. The serpent's kiss was only the beginning. The true dance with danger had just begun. And with Lucian, Victoria knew the stakes would be even higher. Unraveling clues. The crimson liquid Lucian had sipped left a lingering warmth in the air. A subtle scent of iron and something else. Something floral, almost sickeningly sweet. It was a scent that clung to the memories of Victor. A faint perfume he had worn on their last night together. The connection, however slight, sent a jolt of icy dread through Victoria. Was this a deliberate clue? A subtle breadcrumb left by Lucian to manipulate her? Or was it simply a coincidence? A cruel twist of fate in a world already overflowing with darkness? She examined the ornate carvings on the booth, her fingers tracing the intricate designs of intertwined serpents. The same serpentine motif adorned the club's entrance, a recurrent symbol that felt increasingly ominous. She wondered if it was a symbol of the Obsidian Circle, a mark of their sinister presence in this underworld. Each touch, each observation, felt like another piece of a complex puzzle, slowly coming together to reveal a terrifying picture. Lucian, sensing her inquisitive gaze, produced a small, intricately carved wooden box from his pocket. The box was dark, almost black, the wood polished to a high sheen. He opened it, slowly, revealing a collection of ancient-looking coins, each etched with cryptic symbols. These were found near Victor's body, Lucian explained, his voice lower. Each coin bears a unique symbol, a mark of the Obsidian Circle. These aren't just coins, Victoria. They are keys. Keys? To what? The question hung in the air, unanswered, yet heavy with unspoken implications. Victoria carefully examined the coins, tracing the unfamiliar symbols with her fingertips. The intricate carvings felt oddly familiar, triggering a faint memory from the depths of her mind. A memory both hazy and unsettling. The image of a hidden compartment in Victor's study flashed before her eyes. He'd always been secretive, keeping certain aspects of his life hidden even from her. Had he been involved with the Obsidian Circle? Had he known about their activities? And had his knowledge led to his demise? The thought was both agonizing and terrifying. Lucian watched her intently, his storming eyes reflecting the flickering lamplight. The symbols, he said, breaking silence. They point to various locations throughout the city. Hidden covens, secret meetings, places where the Obsidian Circle operates. He slid one of the coins across the table, his finger brushing against hers again. The touch was brief, yet it sent a shiver down her spine. A jolt of unexpected energy that both intrigued and unnerved her. This was a dangerous game, and Lucian was clearly playing it with a skill that was both terrifying and strangely alluring. Victoria took the coin, its cold metal, a stark contrast to the warmth of his touch. The symbol etched into its surface was unlike anything she had ever seen. A swirling vortex of darkness, framed by a serpent's head. It was a symbol of power, of hidden knowledge, and of undeniable danger. The first location, Lucian continued, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, is the Crimson Veil. The Crimson Veil was a notorious brothel known for catering to the city's elite, both human and supernatural. It was a place where secrets were bought and sold, and discretion was a commodity more valuable than gold. The very name sent a shiver down Victoria's spine. This was a path into a world far darker and more dangerous than she could have ever imagined. Over the next few days, Victoria followed the trail of clues, each coin leading her to a new location, a new layer of deception. The investigation became a relentless pursuit, blurring the line between her quest for justice and her own personal safety. The second location was a hidden speakeasy, tucked away in a forgotten alleyway. The entrance was concealed behind a false wall, accessible only through a secret password, whispered to the bouncer. A hulking werewolf with eyes that held the cold glint of steel. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with smoke, the air buzzing with hushed conversations and nervous energy. The clientele was a mix of vampires, werewolves, and other supernatural beings, all engaging in clandestine dealings under the cloak of darkness. Victoria, adopting the disguise, a dark cloak, a wide-brimmed hat that concealed most of her face, managed to blend into the shadows, observing the interactions between the patrons. He overheard snippets of conversations, fragments of information that hinted at the Obsidian Circle's involvement in a vast conspiracy, a plot to manipulate the city's underworld, to seize control of its power structures, and to reshape it according to their dark designs. The next location was a hidden coven nestled deep within the city's ancient catacombs. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decay, and the silence was broken only by the dripping of water and the occasional rustling of unseen creatures. The coven members, powerful vampires shrouded in shadows, practiced ancient rituals, their chanting echoing through the subterranean tunnels. Victoria, observing from a concealed vantage point, realized that these rituals were not merely religious ceremonies. They were dark invocations of power, aimed at enhancing their influence and controlling the city's fate. The more Victoria learned, the more she realized the Obsidian Circle was far more powerful and insidious than she had imagined. Their influence extended far beyond the city's underworld, reaching into its political and economic structures, their tentacles snaking through every layer of society. They were puppeteers, pulling strings from the darkness, manipulating events to their advantage. But the Obsidian Circle was not monolithic. There were factions within the group, power struggles, and betrayals. This internal conflict gave Victoria a glimmer of hope. If she could exploit these divisions, if she could turn one faction against another, she might be able to expose them and bring them down. Throughout her investigation, Lucian remained a shadowy presence, a guide through the labyrinth of deceit. He offered cryptic clues, cryptic warnings, and occasionally acts of seemingly selfless assistance. But his motives remained elusive, his intentions obscured by a veil of mystery. His help was invaluable, but his enigmatic nature made it impossible to fully trust him. His touch, when it occasionally brushed against hers, sent waves of electricity coursing through her body, fueling both a sense of dependence and a deep-seated unease. His gaze, intense and piercing, held a hint of something dark and alluring, something that both frightened and fascinated her. He was a predator, she knew, and yet she found herself falling deeper under his spell. As Victoria's investigation intensified, so did her own personal risk. She found herself increasingly entangled in the very world she sought to expose, her personal life blurring into her investigation, her identity blurring into the dark shadows of her mission. She was treading on dangerous ground, playing a high-stakes game where one wrong move could have fatal consequences. But the desire for justice, the need to avenge Victor, kept pushing her forward, blinding her to the escalating dangers. She was determined to uncover the truth, even if it meant risking everything she held dear. The scent of betrayal hung heavy in the air, and she felt a growing certainty that the Obsidian Circle held secrets far more dangerous and pervasive than even she had initially imagined. The truth was a dangerous and seductive siren, and Victoria, with Lucian as both guide and potential antagonist, was sailing dangerously close to its deadly embrace. And with that, we end Chapter 1.
Oh, thank you for that, Max. The chapter we just got into, I forgot to put it there. That was the chapter was called "As Shadow Falls." If you did enjoy that, this will be going up on the channel. Again, if you want to know information, Max will close it out before I get into my outro. Max, if you want to add anything else before I get into the outro.
Yes, I just wanted to thank everyone who go ahead and came and listened to the actual story. I do look forward to hopefully reading some more for you guys, and I really hope that you go ahead and continue to stick around not only to listen to the story, but consider subscribing, of course, to Charlie Morningstar and the Ghostly Coven. I hope you all have an amazing day.
All right, thank you for that. Also, thanks to everyone that did tune in. This is a new thing I'm trying with the channel. It's something to get my workout. It's something I've been wanting to do for years. So, again, thanks for everyone tuning in. It's always a lovely evening in the lovely coven of ours. Thank you for you lovely demons and witches for always tuning in. This has been the Ghostly Coven, signing out.